Let's try a thought experiment, okay? Let's imagine that God comes to you and tells you that there are unconditional, transcendent, absolute moral oughts in the universe. Things that you just ought do and things that you just ought not do. And it just so happens that all the things that you ought to do will create unfathomable pain, suffering, and injustice and ultimately land you in hell where you'll burn and choke and scream and cough for all of eternity. However, all the things that you ought not do happen to promote peace. Knowing this, how would you live your life?
Now, I'd love to answer this thought experiment, but going back to what you said earlier in the video, I actually think this thought experiment is incoherent. Think back to the Euthyphro dilemma, the original version.
Is something moral because it's commanded by God, or does God command it because it's moral?
It starts with the idea that objective morality exists, and then seeks to show that God is not the foundation of objective morality. Now, ultimately, I think the Euthyphro dilemma is a false dilemma. But I do agree with it in as far as it says that God's arbitrary commands cannot be the foundation of objective morality. By your own admission, here's how the argument works.
It forces the Christian into a dichotomy. If the former is true, then morality becomes arbitrary.
Meaning, if objective morality exists, its foundation cannot be arbitrary. The foundation of objective morality must have a specific set of non-arbitrary properties. Now that leads us to some interesting conclusions. If God is the foundation of morality, then he must have a specific set of non-arbitrary properties. Now deities with arbitrary sets of properties cannot be the foundation of objective morality. That eliminates contingent deities like those found in Greek polytheism. That explains why Socrates, aka the Greek philosopher who came up with the Euthyphro dilemma, wouldn't have come up with the idea that God could be the foundation of objective morality. His contingent deities simply didn't fit the bill. Now I actually have an upcoming video where I'm going to be making an original argument. I'm going to be modifying the Euthyphro dilemma and turning it into an argument for monotheism. When I finish that, I'll try and remember to put it in the more info section, so check there if you want to see it. But getting back on track, by presenting the Euthyphro dilemma, you are recognizing that the foundation of objective morality cannot be arbitrary. So by asking me to think about an objective morality different than it currently is, while simultaneously arguing that objective morality cannot be arbitrary, your challenge becomes incoherent. As always, test everything, hold on to the good.